roll!
Okay, second set between Great and C, and yes, we do get to see the brand new map for the second set. This is Dreamliner, two-player map. Check out those starting positions. Except, okay, over at the 3 o'clock, and purple is C, down at the 6 o'clock, and orange is Great. And this is a wacky map, not only because there's a plane on the map. Yes, they actually made a plane out of ramps at the top left, of this map. That's just such a weird thing to do, to make the starting positions this close together these days. It's like they took part of Python, twisted it around, and then looked at some of the new StarCraft 2 maps, like Scrap Station in particular, and said, I wonder if we can make that work in StarCraft 1. So that's what I'm guessing the map designer for this did. He sat down, he's like, I want to make a version of Scrap Station that works in StarCraft 1. And then somewhere along the design process, someone walked into his office and said, yeah, Korean Air decided to host again. Will you put a plane on this map? And then he took a shot of whiskey and said, all right, I'll do it. So that's why there's a plane up there. A very misshapen, weird-looking plane. The nose is all weird. Well, you'll see later once these guys start expanding out a bit more. It looks like the plane crashed, which is, I don't think, a very good commercial for Korean Air. But yes, as you can tell, Zerg is going to have a scouting advantage on this map, at least. That much is clear, but I'm not exactly sure how imbalanced this map is going to be. A lot of people have been screaming imbalance about this map, but I don't know. Even with the relatively short rush distance, I don't think it's an unmanageable rush distance. I mean, if you go for a 5-pool, Best went up against Great on this map, and Great did do a 5-pool in the first freaking game on this map, which is great. It's a great way to judge how normal games are going to go, by going for a 5-pool cheesy rush strategy. And Best could have defended against it, but he played kind of sloppily, did not get a very good defense against the initial Zerglings. He could have, but he didn't. So I don't think it's an unmanageable rush distance. And when talking about Mutalisks, a lot of people have been saying that Mutalisks are going to be bad on this map because you can run in with Mutalisks from 2 hatcheries, get them out as soon as they pop, just go right to the base. But I think the map designer knew what he was doing, because look at the minimap. Look where the minerals are at each of the bases. They're facing away from the other player. So if you want to go in with Mutalisks, you're going to have to come in at kind of an awkward angle, or either that or you have to go over all the other buildings, which at this point in the game, once you have your Mutalisks out, there'll probably be a cannon or 2 for Protoss, and of course some Medic Marines out for Terran. And the Medic Marines are going to be able to run all over the place, wide open space, and defend the minerals against early Mutalisks. And as you can see from the minerals at the natural and right next to the main, it's going to be difficult to run back and forth, because very short distance for Medic Marines to run back, especially. So the Medic Marines are just going to tear up Mutalisks if they try to run back and forth between the bases. But I don't know. Time will tell. I've seen quite a few imbalanced maps in my casting career, like Tears of the Moon, Plasma. Tears of the Moon especially, I'd say, it was a bad map. I actually like Plasma. I like playing on Plasma because it's such a weird freaking map. All the lurker eggs in it and whatnot. But Tears of the Moon was just crap. They didn't listen to Protoss players at all. But this time, I think the map designers have listened to the needs of all of the races, and I think they designed a pretty good map. It's a very weird map, and I'm not exactly sure how many games we're going to see where players expand out to the upper left. We might never get to see that freaking plane, but I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Engineering Bay coming up for C is preparing for those mutas while getting his standard fast expand Terran build going. See if he can hold that against the aggression from Great. And one of the bad things about this map for a Zerg player, which is why I think it's a little bit more balanced to the other races, is it's very difficult to take your third base. Because the natural third expo, hello white people, is at the top right and the bottom left. So if you go for those natural expos, there's no gas there. It's a mineral-only expansion. So if Zerg wants to get another gas, they're going to have to go out pretty far into no man's land, which is going to make it very vulnerable to attack because there's not really any chokes out there. Oh, C is giving us a tour of the map. That's nice of him. There's one of the wings of the plane, by the way. But as C is your tour guide, let's see if we can find Great expanding anytime soon. I don't see any third base up for Great yet. Great's trying desperately to get rid of that scout, which makes me think he might be going for the third base, or sticking to 2 and doing some cheesiness. He did throw down his third hatchery, so he's probably going for standard 3 hatch Muta. Other than that, C looking around for that next base, doesn't see it. And here comes the Zerglings, just out the front. Let's see what Great decides to do. I don't see a whole lot going on for Great right now. He is getting up his spire, so he's going straight from Mutilus into that base. But I saw the engineering bay coming up, so there should be turrets out in time for C. And drop strategies, I think especially, are going to be fun on this map. Even though the pros, when Python was being used quite a bit, it had very short base-to-base ratio too. You didn't see players use a whole lot of drop strategies, maybe just because it was expected, the expected thing to do. But all the barracks coming up now. C is going straight into Manic Marine, getting the scan, looking for that spire. I'm not sure if he did the second scan, though, to look for that other spire, to look for another place where the spire would be, but I don't know. I think he's going to be expecting it. He saw the lair. That's some information for him, and he does have a scan up, so he's going to be okay, even if lurkers come his way, which they're not. But he is okay as far as that goes. Standing outside the front could be a little bit risky. I would back up a bit with those Medic Marines if I were him, because the mutas are going to be pouring into the main soon enough. Okay, plenty of turrets out. Looks like C has some nice turret placement already, right next to all of his important buildings, right next to a place where the mutas would try to arc in on that mineral line, pick off some SUVs. But here come the mutas. Let's see what these mutas can get done on this map. Let's see how easy it is to get some muta harassment on.